So, just a warning about the New Heaven, New Earth Church. They're also known as Chincheonji in Korea, but they may not tell you this when you first join them, when you first do their Bible studies or fellowship. They call it a Bible study, but if you look at my other reels, they're not studying it accurately. So, I'd highly have this in mind if you're in the group or if you've recently come across them or somebody's randomly reached out to you, trying to be a friend, trying to connect to you for no reason. They're just trying to get you to be part of the group. And one thing they do to kind of justify cult-like behavior is to say that the early church were called a sect. So they would say, a lot, they would say the early church were called a sect. So if we're called a cult, it's not bad because they were called a sect, and that isn't how things work. Um, if somebody calls you a name, that doesn't mean that's what you are. So if somebody calls New Heaven, New Earth Church a cult, that doesn't mean that's who they are. What matters is how you act. So the early church being called a sect doesn't mean that they are a sect. What matters is how they act. And guys, when we look at how the early church moved, how the early church um did things, it's very different to how the New Heaven, New Earth church did things. Like Jesus said, you will know a tree by their fruits, and you can know, you know, what groups are like by their actions. So Paul said here that we refuse to practice cunning or tamper with God's word. And do you know what I mean? So they didn't use cunning means in order to get people to join their group. Whereas New Heaven, New Earth Church, they have people message you pretending to be your friend to connect with you over interests that they may not even have. I had somebody trying to connect with me over videography, cinematography, and it wasn't even their interest. Somebody tried to talk to me about music and they didn't even want to talk about music. They just wanted to get me in their church. Why are they using cunning practices? They have people do their courses again and again. So when you hear people agreeing with them on the Zoom calls, it makes you feel like that everybody's right and it creates kind of a group think. Um, this is all deception. It's not stuff the early church would do.